Don't you grow up in a hurry. Wait. Don't you grow up in a hurry. Your mama be worried on story. Even this scary night. All of your glory, you will be remembered. Oh, thank you for all heroes in the night. They gotta repeat the colors.
This nigga does not know the song.
It's wearing off. Reality is upon us. Colors are dripping off. Colors dripping off.
So what's the episode about?
About your innocence as a kid and how you grow up to be, a different version of yourself when you're older. I had a conversation with mom the other day, and I was like, which one out of your 3 kids, like, have you seen us all? Is it like a little speck of us as a kid and we've grown up and, you know what I mean? Like, have we evolved from that, but you still see that essence? And her question, I asked her, which out of her kids, she said, all of you guys grew differently. Like, she was like, you have that same eternal core, and you just evolved it. But it was like, yeah, Ro was always trying to take care of us and be like the father almost, and he was wild. Like, even, she said when you were like 7 or something, you would be like, get the kids ready. And mom would look at you like you're one of the kids, bro. Yeah. And like how you're still taking that role and you're still like that, and how Brooklyn, Brooke was shy. Brooke was shy, but Brooke was just to herself, I guess.
Because as soon as she got her voice, man, she wouldn't shut up.
That's exactly what she said too. Like, it wasn't that she just had to unlock it, but she always had it. Because the Brooke I grew up with,
not quiet at all.
Brooke was never shy to me.
Causing havoc.
Yeah. And then with me, she was like, I was always the kid that was like nonchalant.
Aimless. That's it. Yeah.
But then she said I kind of locked down and became almost the opposite. Although that's about, but I still have that free spirit way about me. So, but yeah, like that little kid version of you, how he grew up. Like, I can't wait to look at my kids and be like, damn, how is this gonna translate? How is this gonna grow up? How is this gonna evolve?
Let me say this. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Perspective Podcast. We're here to change your perspective
and elevate your mindset,
man. Y'all know you guys got Roman here with you.
And Joshua, as always.
You guys know that every Wednesday we're here. So make sure you tap in, make sure you tune in at 8 o'clock. No matter where you get your podcasts, you're going to see a new episode from us. So just make sure you tap in, you support, you show your love, you do what you got to do because we love y'all. I think that was a perfect way of just introducing this episode today, really healing that inner child that we have, really tending to it.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
Does the thought of your daughter change how you interact with women? I know. I just thought of it like.
Does the thought of your daughter change how you interact with women? I think it has to. I am somebody that constantly says how I operate and move not only affects my daughter but my sister, and shows the love that I have for my mother. You can always tell. Every man struggles with something, right? But how he treats his mother, how he treats his sisters, how he treats the women in his life, for a female that is coming into something with that man, if you watch the way that he treats the women in his life, it's more than likely that's how he's going to treat you. So if he's disrespectful and belligerent to his mother, if he's flippant and abusive with his sister, if he is... if he disrespects women, normal, everyday women, on a daily, I don't want to say it's innate. I don't want to say that it's more than likely that these things he's gonna do to you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's
more than likely.
And it doesn't mean that everyone's perfect. Doesn't mean that they're whatever they do to their mother, they're gonna do to you. So he treats his mother good, he's gonna treat you great. But for me, when I think about my kids and my lineage, my legacy, I'm so particular on what I put out there, because my kids are gonna have to reap the benefits of what I give to the world, right? A great example is music. I did music and dropped the album with everybody, like the 4US album. Make sure you go stream that.
Throw it
That's
up.
4US.
It's gonna be in the description.
It'll be somewhere. You're gonna see it somewhere, right? But when we dropped the album, the concept of the album was our different versions of love. The album is called 4US for Love. That's LUV. But the reason why we dropped it is because it was our different perspectives on how we see love. But the reason why I started music was because I wanted that when my kids grow up, they know, oh, dad was thinking this at 19. Dad was thinking this at 23.
Yeah.
Dad's understanding and perspective changed when he got to 26, right? And you can see the progression. My first song that I actually put on all digital platforms, don't stream it, was called No Condom. You know what I'm saying? I was 19.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even really want the song to be put out, right? Because I didn't want that representation to be of me. But it was just one of those ones
crazy
where,
lyrics.
it was one of those ones where we were young.
Yeah.
Everybody just said, drop it, man. It's going to go crazy. And it did. It did, you know what I'm saying, what it was supposed to do. But to go from something like that to the album, one of my favorite songs on the album is So I. Another one is Stay With Me, and the reason why these songs stuck with me so heavily is because not only were they real events that I had to go through, but it was me being vulnerable and honest with myself. And I know that when my daughter comes around and she hears this music, she hears the verbiage and the language that I used, and the aura and the energy that I put into it, she'll know that, okay, dad was wilding when he was 19. He was wilding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when he got a little older and he had a little more understanding and had a little more wisdom and went through some things, he's realized, okay, this is really how you're supposed to do it, right? And so whatever I do now, it is to the benefit of what my kids will be able to see and have understanding of, you know? Yeah, I think you got to be different for your kids, for sure. What about you?
I mean, I think I look at more so looking at girls, I'm like, would I want my daughter to be like that? Like,
Jesus.
Like, I'm looking at girls, like I would be sitting down just looking like, would I even want my daughter to be like this? And that'll stick with me more than anything else, more than how I treat them, I guess. But it's just like, even before how I treat them, how do I want you to be treating yourself? How do I want you to react with yourself? Like, is that okay? You know?
I think if more people sat down and looked at their partners as this could be your future, like whatever she displays,
This could be your daughter.
that could be your daughter.
Yeah. It'll end a lot of relationships.
Man, shit just done got serious. Yeah, yeah, man. Cause and it's that serious. Cause it's like, yo, you know, I think Fredo said, you can never be my day if you even did a day of twerking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's real though, cause it's like, you know, the things that you allow in your life, you know, good or bad. Because, I mean, we're young. Sometimes we just do things trying to survive.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are in survival mode. So I can't fully judge somebody for the decision that they make in survival mode. But when we start thinking about, you know, and that's what I'm always big on.
That's
What was
tough.
your,
I don't know.
What was your childhood like?
I don't know if you can't judge someone for survival mode, because I think that's when you get to your ultimate instincts. It's like survival modes. It's like that duality of the bottom and the top. Although they're so different, there's a strong duality, and you've heard Will Smith talk about it recently. It went viral. Cliff top and bottom. What's it called? Fall on the bottom. You know how you reach you reach the
mountaintop and valley, like Valley to Spirit, yeah.
So basically that, and how people reach their bottom and they have nothing else and they find God. People reach the material world and they find, like, there's a little duality of, so it's like what you do at the survival would also be what you do when you have everything, you know what I mean?
Everything presented to you.
So it's almost your truest sense.
The problem is I think a lot of people, especially in marginalized communities, we operate only in survival mode. We only know survival mode, right? And so we get comfortable in survival mode, and now things that aren't supposed to be acceptable are acceptable because of where we are, right? And so now you see I'm not trying to even disrespect anybody, but I remember growing up, and we looked at prostitutes as saying, why would you want to be a prostitute?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you actively want to go and be in this industry, right? And growing up, you're like, why would you want to be a teen mother?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you had an option or an opportunity to be married and go through it the way society tells you to.
Yeah.
Either one isn't right or wrong, you know what I mean? But you grow up. No, but I mean, you grow up, like stuff happens, right? So I'm saying, but you grow up and then you realize that that person that you had in high school that you thought wasn't going to end up like that, ends up like
But
that.
you said either one. That's why I said
Okay.
either one is right or wrong. There's a clear wrong in those two.
You want what's best.
There's a worse,
right?
There's a worse off.
I can't say worse because there's things that come out of that. You know what I mean? Like it's still a child that comes out of it. So that's why I can't say.
No. I mean,
oh,
you said-
being
you said
single.
prostitute and a single teen
Yes,
mom.
yes,
Either one. And I was like, there's a clear,
But
there's
now,
a clear worse.
we've sat down and it's been acceptable. It's been acceptable
by others.
and not only it's been acceptable, it's
How-
been promoted.
Yeah, how it's not been acceptable for me, I wouldn't want my daughter to do that.
You're right, but
I'm
it's
saying?
been promoted, and I think now with social media and the way that media is going,
Yeah.
we accept and we I've seen it more pressure people to want to feel like they gotta be throwing some type of, you know what I'm saying? They gotta be throwing that cooter, you know what I'm saying? They gotta throw that yeah, you know what I'm saying? Fly me out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go do all of these things, and I think the issue is that now it's like, okay, well, what lessons are you gonna be teaching your daughter?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be going through these things and these tribulations to be able to impact her? Are you doing it to give her a better life, your daughter a better life, or are you doing it simply because you just wanna wild out and see if you can make a bag, right? But the problem is I've seen a lot of people lose their souls chasing a bag instead of chasing themselves, chasing materialistic things instead of chasing things of value. You know what I'm saying? These women, they popping that thing for that Chanel, boy. They popping it for
They
that.
pop it for less.
For that gold shit, boy.
They pop that for less.
Man, you know what I'm saying?
lie.
They might pop it just to be in the
What's it
section.
called? I was listening to Baby. He had a crazy night. He's like, you think that girl popping on her grand? Look what she popped for 10 grand. He said, oh my God. Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure, popping, yeah.
But the only way that becomes acceptable is if we first accept it in society. And the problem is that the problems that you go through are not only your problems, right? Somebody said it, and they said, I was watching a podcast, and he said, real quick, he went into a barbershop, I think he was shooting dice, right, in a section in a room. And he's shooting dice, and somebody comes around and is like, man, who your father? And so he tells who his father is, and he's like, really? Man, your father used to be in the same room doing the exact same thing as you. He's like, really? Okay, maybe I'm like my dad. And then another man came up and said, man, who your grandfather? Your grandfather was doing the exact same thing you was doing in the same room. And then he realized, whoa, wait. The sins of me, of what I go through, isn't just what I've gone through. I'm not the first. Somebody came before me, and the sins will be revisited constantly until you break the generational curse that might be on your life, right? And so because of that, he had to realize and say, my grandfather went through this.
Yeah.
My daddy went through this. I'm going through this. My son will go through this if I don't stop it here.
Yeah.
And so we got to be more intentional about trying to break curses so that our kids don't go through the same problems that we had to go through.
Yeah.
Right? And that doesn't just mean materialistic. So I was broke. My father was broke. My grandfather was broke. So now let me make sure I get rich to be able to give it to. No, what can I also do that will give spiritually to my kids?
Yeah, it's a spiritual transaction. It's
fam.
nothing material. It's spiritual.
And that's
100%.
biblical.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna revisit you.
It's going to revisit you. I know it's biblical. Like it's a verse of the sins of your forefathers will revisit you. I can't give you the exact scripture, but
Yeah,
you know,
but it's a concept.
The concept of knowing that. And so when we think about our inner child or our childhood and the things that we had to go through, you know, the person that we were at 6 versus the person we were at 16, and the understanding the mental aspect of what we had to go through. Yeah. You know, it's like when you look at your partner.
Yeah, I know I'm not ready to have kids. I haven't broke the generational curse. You know what I mean? And so to bring someone else into that, I'm setting mans up for failure. I can't do that.
Can't
little
happen.
boy,
You know what I'm
little
saying?
Josh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the problem is I think that's why when you start looking for your partner, when you start looking for your person, right? Take the characteristics of where they are, who they are, the personality that they have, the temperament that they have, the places that they are in the moment, what they had to go through in their childhood, where they decide or feel like they're going to go in their future, and say to yourself, if my child ended up like this person,
would I be
okay?
Yeah.
Would I be happy about that? You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. If that man is abusive, if he belittles you, if he makes you feel like you ain't.
Wait, which man?
If to a woman, if the man that you're going for,
she's looking at her man.
Yeah, if she's going for a man and he's abusive, if he belittles you, if he disrespects you, if he degrades you, if he makes you feel like you're worthless, if he makes you, you know what I'm saying? If he does all these things to you, right?
Yeah.
It might behoove you not to say, let me have a child with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that just, I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? If that person is doing these things to you, and I mean, you can't plan everything. But you can put things in place to make sure that certain things don't happen. You know what I'm saying?
But no, I feel you.
Because it's not just about the moment. It's not just about your feelings in today. It's the things that you're gonna have to break in your generations going forward. You can't sit down and just have a baby with somebody and feel like, well, we're gonna have some cute kids, so let's just see what happens.
Crazy.
Only because you don't know the generational curses that they have on their life. You don't know the problems and mental or physical health problems that they might have in their life that you can't control, that you can't foresee.
You just don't do the same background check as other generations.
Man, you do a more extensive background check for a job before you do it for your partner.
Yeah. What's their resume?
Sometime maybe we got to start walking around with resumes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it seems like we have a more extensive rigorous program of trying to figure out who our employer is going to be versus who our partner is going to be.
Yeah.
And then we wonder why our relationships and the state of relationships are the way that they are today, right? Go back and heal your inner child. Go back and heal that little girl, that little boy that's in you, right? Revisit the traumas that you've gone through and heal the traumatic parts of your life. Be able to grow physically, mentally, spiritually, so that your child doesn't have to be hindered by the things that you didn't want to grow from, right? That's the biggest thing, man. Don't just have kids with anybody. Take time, understand the person, really love the person. Decide that this person is not just for 18 years, man. It's a life.
I think it goes lesser than kids. Like, it don't even have to get to kids. Like, it's time and energy into anybody. It's like it's the same amount of pain, same amount of thing. It's just no kids involved. But it's like, bro, you just gotta be more mindful. And it's like, do you want them to be like your kid? Would you want your mom to be like that? That's a whole other perspective. I didn't think. Like, you look at your girl like, would I want my mom to be like that?
I think when you pick the girl that you want to be with, though, I've always said that she has to have some characteristics of your mother. I believe that my mother is my first love. I love you, Mom. Love you, Mama. Yeah. I believe that my mom is my first love.
Yeah.
I believe that my mom is the one that shows me how to love. She shows me what unconditional love looks like. And I don't expect unconditional love from my partner, but I do expect.
Just being, I do. You do too, bruh.
Unconditional is no matter what happens, though.
You expect that
from my wife. My partner is different. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not.
You want that, yeah.
You want it, but your mother just shows you what love is supposed to be like. So if our mother was abusive, if our mother was belligerent, if our mother was somebody that always ripped us into two and always made us feel like we could not make it, we ain't got, you know what I'm saying? Then the partner that we then look for is going to have to resemble parts of ourselves that we felt comfortable with from our mother, until we decide to break the generational curse and find somebody that's better and love somebody that's better. Because you can find that, but can you love that? Can you love somebody that shows you something differently than what you've been used to being taught?
And that's like breaking away from your fantasy, I think. Yeah. That's a whole other trouble. People have a fantasy of what that perfect girl, perfect guy looks like for your life.
Because of society and social media.
Social media, it's like the shows, the movies. fairy tales, all that stuff shapes you. Oh, she's gotta be like this, she gotta be that. But like, like you've said before, 80-20. Like, is she great though?
Yeah.
But you're looking at the 20 that you had in your head forever. But is she that 80 though?
And that 80 might be boring. Can I say that?
Can it be boring?
That 80 can be boring. At
Would it be
times,
boring?
at times
Oh,
it
for
gets
sure.
boring.
At times.
You know what I'm saying? And the problem is that 20% looks fun because it's only 20%.
And it's right now.
Man, it's right now, man. She be what? Oh man, she was going crazy at that. Yeah, what?
Yeah.
But man, that 80 that I got at home
Yeah.
is worth more than that 20, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem that I think we have. That's the problem that I've struggled with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And forget what other people have done. I've struggled with that, where you always feel like, yeah, man, the grass might be greener.
Where you water it.
It's greener where you water it, not what it looks like. Other people's lawn is fabricated. Other people's lawn might be meticulously manicured, but it might not grow underneath the soil. It might be, you know what I'm saying, rocks and, you know what I'm saying?
Can't build no trees,
You
can't do
can't,
no
man.
new
It's
stuff.
it's not fertile.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you want the partner that you choose, the person that you choose to be with, to be able to be a Garden of Eden, a garden that is luscious, a garden that is that produces fruits. That when you speak something that she understands, takes in, and be able to manifest and meticulously put things into action. Right? You don't want to have to go home and tell your girl, "Oh, babe, man, I had a bad day, but I had this business opportunity," and she like, "What, man? You can't do that. You ain't worth that. You ain't meant for that, man. What? You ain't." You don't want that. You want somebody that can speak life into you, where I can tell you something and you like, man, how can we make this work? You know what I'm saying? I use the example so much, and I feel like I gotta get a new one. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. I know it's like, where am I going with this?
Okay.
Diary of a Mad Black Woman. If you remember the movie and you remember the scene where I don't remember the girl's name, to be honest with you, but the wife that became the divorcee, whatever, that married the gardener, whatever, like Shamar Moore, or whatever.
Yeah.
She went to the guy that she was with originally, right? The
Her
guy that
ex,
she was
or
married
now
to, her ex,
yeah.
right? And he was a big time lawyer. And when she left, when they got a divorce, the law firm started going under.
Yeah.
And he came to her and he was like, "I just don't understand why my business isn't working the way that it used to, why I'm not as profitable as I used to, why everything's starting to collapse." And she sat there and she took a second. She gathered her thoughts and she said, "Because you didn't know that while you were sleeping at night, I was going over and looking over the books.
Yeah.
I was being meticulous about making sure that everything was in order.
Yeah.
I was going through and being the shelter and the shield that you didn't even know you had, the protection that you didn't even know."
It's like, damn, now I gotta hire an accountant.
You know what I'm saying? I need somebody to look over what I be doing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Can I trust that person? Because even the accountant could go rob you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But she was saying that I was that
I
shield,
know
that
she
shelter.
felt good after
What?
that, man. Yeah,
But
I
she
know
felt
she
like,
felt
yeah,
great.
she like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah.
Go figure that
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it's like, go get that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But because he went for that 20%, he went for somebody that might look better, might have acted like they were above it all, and I want the bags, and I want the da-da-da.
Yeah.
But she might have been, quote unquote, boring,
Yeah.
but she was the one that was feeding his soul. She was the one that wanted him to be great. She was the one that was sacrificing for him,
Yeah.
right? And so I use that example so much because it's like you want to find the person that when you're sleeping can go over the books.
Yeah.
Find the person that's going to protect you and shield you, even when you feel like you don't deserve it, even when you don't even know what's happening, you know? And when you think
How
about,
you know?
but again, you know the person that's good for you. You know the person that wants the best for you.
Yeah.
You know the person that genuinely wants to see you win. You know what I'm saying? You know. Now, can you be honest with yourself and be able to put your heart
say
out there?
no to the others.
And that's the
That's-
hard part. That's the
yeah,
dilemma.
yeah.
And it's not just men.
Yeah.
Women too.
Say no to. It's even more for women.
I think it's because
Yeah, it's
at
even
least
more
it's
for
like,
women.
you know what I'm saying? A woman
Yeah.
could go around and she could be with a man that might make, I want to say minimum wage, or let's say make 6 figures,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there might be another man that makes $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Then there's another man that is 10, and then 100, and then 1 billion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the discernment's on 100.
It's
Yeah.
that spectrum is crazy, right? And it doesn't mean that millionaire, that billionaire, that nigga that only makes 40,000 a year, that there's that innately in that person one is better than the other. It just means that because of their materialistic or their achievements, they might be able to give you a different life. But who feeds your soul? Who is the one that cares for you immensely? Who is the one that caters to your needs and has the forethought to know, oh my God, she broke her nail. Let me already book her a nail appointment because I know that she gonna have to go figure that out. Let me make sure. Let me be somebody that has provision over her and protection over her. Let me make sure that that's taken care of so she doesn't have to think about it. Let me shield her from things she doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Right? Let me go out there
That's my
and
thing. Like she don't even know, and
She
then
don't.
that's when neglecting starts.
that's when resentment starts.
neglect. I mean, resentment on your side.
Yeah,
but
you
it's
might
like-
resent her for not being able to see the things that you put
And
in.
then it's neglecting because she don't even realize what she ain't.
She
doing.
don't. She don't.
She's like, oh, well, he doesn't do that much. But it's like
Yeah.
we say another episode, time away. Only when you're away you see the impact a person had in their life.
And I'm perfectly okay with you being away and having to find out the hard way.
Yeah.
Who was the right one
was
for
the
you.
right one,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? I'm
And you hug
perfectly
that.
okay with you messing up this opportunity.
Yeah.
Having to go and I tell it all the time, hey, go experience that.
Yeah,
Oh,
till
go
they
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go. I'm not holding
I
you.
promise I'm chilling over here. I promise.
I know who I am. I
Yeah.
know what I bring to the table. I know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you need to go out there and experience somebody else to understand what you've missed out over here,
Mm-hmm.
baby, go do that. But don't think that you about to spin that blah.
Mm-hmm.
Saying don't think you about to turn that corner to get back over here because you feel like, man, I messed up. I should have never. I had somebody very important to me, come back and tell me, you're the one that got away. And it messed me up for weeks.
Really?
Weeks. Because I wish they would have said that to me. Yeah, what?
Really?
Oh my gosh, bro.
I don't.
And you know weeks. Because it hurt me because I was like, yo, why couldn't you know or have that understanding in the moment? Why didn't you see that when I was chasing you? When I wanted you, when I was, you know what I'm saying? When I wanted to hear it, you weren't able to give it to me.
Yeah.
Why did you have to wait till now?
When I don't.
When I'm not in the season to be able to reap the benefit of what that is, to explore what that is, right? And when they said it to me and saying that I'm the one that got away, I said to myself, first of all, I appreciate the honesty, but you will have to live a life knowing that something got away so that the next time that you have something good in your life, you're able to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this train,
It's gone already.
it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But there might be
How did it mess with you?
it messed with me because I was like, damn, like certain
Just a
people you
lesson?
wanna hear that from, man.
Yeah.
If I've been asking and begging, now I don't say begging, but I was asking, you know what I'm saying? I was asking for that
Relax,
before.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
bet you.
I might have too much on my chest. I'm saying too much depth on it.
calm
Yeah.
yourself
You know what I'm
down.
saying? But I wanted that in a season, in a specific season. I thought that I wanted that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now that you say that, I'm like, geez, man. I wish you would have told me that back when.
God's protection.
God's protection, God's
Redirection.
timing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
God's
sometimes we get frustrated because it's like, damn, man, you were supposed to be the one to heal my inner child. Damn, man, you were supposed to be the one to really tend to me. Damn, man, I thought you was gonna be the one. And God's like, no, they weren't.
Yeah.
They were supposed to teach you and show you something that in a season you thought you knew.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
And you never know.
You didn't know.
You gotta go through it,
You
bro.
go, and if you don't go through it, then you'll never have an understanding of it. You know what I'm saying? It's on us, man. It's on us. And I know we always have something biblical in every one of our episodes now, but I look at the story of Moses, and after delivering the Israelites out of Egypt, right? They go through seeing a miracle, seeing a sea being able to open up, right? And walking through it,
Yeah.
right? After seeing such a miracle, they sit there and say, Moses is now gone for 40 days and 40 nights, literally writing the 10 commandments. Now that he's gone, I don't know where I'm going next. Let me go back to what I'm comfortable with. So let me now build an idol and pray and worship the idol because that's what I was used to in that season, right? Even though God has opened me up and showed me a new season and brought me out of literally a bad environment and to bring me into a promised land. But because I'm comfortable in what I was used to, I'm still stuck in what I was used to. I got to go back to what I was used to instead of being able to say, I've seen a miracle in my life happen. Now let me be able to move forward in the person that gave me this miracle, right? And so I look at it in our lives. How many times do we get stuck on the past, get stuck on the things that God has already delivered us out of, stuck out of the bondage that he has taken us out of, and he's telling us that there's a promised land out there, and we're still stuck on what we were used to. And now those people, those Israelites that got stuck in the past and went back to what they were used to, wasn't able to go and see the promised land that God ordained, that God wanted us to be able to take hold of, right? Simply because they were still used to the past. So I say this to say, when going to our next part of our lives, to our promised land, to where God wants us to be, don't get stuck on what you were used to. Don't get stuck on the past transgressions of what you might have grown up looking at, grown up seeing, grown up being. When you want to look for your partner and somebody that you want to sustain your lineage, don't look at, well, are they good for my past self? Look for, are they good for my promised land? Are they good for my future? Are they good for where I want to go, for my trajectory? You know, can they feed my spirit and my soul? Don't get stuck in the waiting period. Don't get stuck in the lawlessness of what life is. Get stuck looking at the promised land. Get focused on looking at the promised land.
Find you a Joshua that can lead you into the promised land. And I promise you're going to be good. You're going to be fine. Because that's what God do.
That
Come
was
on.
fun.
He do. He gonna give you.
You know your Bible, boy.
Nah,
you know your Bible. Yeah.
Of course.
That boy said, you better find you a Joshua.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
He don't want to lead them.
Okay. Yeah. He talking, man. At the end of the day, man, we just want you guys.
Aaron was there too.
Hey.
Don't play. Aaron was there too.
I didn't want to tell them what my names were, but yeah. Yeah, but yes, you're right. Yes, Aaron did. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, know that we love you. Know that we're proud of you. Know that we're praying for you. We just thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Perspective Podcast. You know that we're here to change your perspective
And elevate your mindset.
We just want to elevate y'all. We want y'all to tend to your younger self. Tend to that child. Tend to the trauma that you've been through. Tend to you being the best self. Getting out of chasing the 20 and staying with the 80. We want you to be able to have enriching relationships, better development, peace of mind for yourself and for your partner, for the people that you attract, that you're looking to be with. Be very cognizant on your decisions that you're making and the people that you're making it with. We just want what's best for you, man. That's all. So do your part in supporting and being there to be able to help your community be better and flourish into something bigger than yourself. Man, this life that we have, we get one chance at it. And we want to make sure that the one chance that you have at life, that you're using it and being productive in being the best self that you can be. We love you. We're proud of you, and we're praying for you. I want you guys to know that the Perspective Podcast will be here every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Make sure you tuned in. Wherever you get your podcast, you know you can find us. And it's just like that.
Right, that's right.